to go to a story now that News 4 has covered for years. Prosecutors say the CEO of a nonprofit was shot and killed while sleeping in his Northern Virginia home next to his wife.
More than 3 years later, the case is still ongoing. The victim's family said prosecutors told them they may not take the case to trial and may instead offer the defendant a plea that would keep him out of jail.
Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder sat down with the family and talked to the prosecutor.
For 3.5 years, a Virginia family has grieved what they call a cold-blooded killing while patiently waiting for the accused killer to stand trial. Now their patience has run out.
There are people waiting for a trial to make justice to his death.
In June 2022, 32-year-old Gret Glyer was sleeping next to his wife in their Fairfax City home where they were raising their 2 kids. Fairfax County police say early one morning, Joshua Danehauer snuck into the family's home and shot Gret 10 times, killing him. Gret had devoted his life to helping some of the poorest people in the world, doing charity work in Malawi, a small country in East Africa.
While he was teaching math in Malawi, he was also doing charity work for the widows and orphans of Malawi. And he started a foundation called the DonorSee Foundation.
I wanted to give other people the same ability to see how giving to those in need matters. It makes a difference. And you can know it makes a difference because you can see it with your own 2 eyes.
So it's a generational impact that he had in Malawi.
But the work was cut short by his death. In 2023, a grand jury indicted Joshua Danehauer on first-degree murder, but the case has never gone to trial. Danehauer's defense told the court he meets the Commonwealth's legal definition of not guilty by reason of insanity.
The killer had a list of how he was going to do it, when he was going to do it, what he was going to dress, what road he was going to take after the murder so he could go get as fast as he can to his house.
At Danehauer's preliminary hearing, prosecutors entered into evidence what they called a manifesto outlining a murder plot. The family says they believe the evidence does not support an insanity argument.
If you're insane and you don't know the difference between right and wrong, you're not going to go at night, you're not going to go at 3 in the morning, you're not going to tiptoe through, you're not going to go through the back door.
Prosecutors sought their own mental health evaluation of Danehauer, and the Commonwealth's attorney says the final report hasn't come back yet. However, the Glyer family says the prosecutor called them and told them that while they're still waiting the final report, there's a possibility they might seek a not guilty by reason of insanity plea, or NGRI, though prosecutors tell News 4 the final decision on a plea hasn't been made, writing in part, quote, "The judicial process relies heavily on third-party clinical experts to determine if a defendant's mental state at the time of an offense meets the legal definition of insanity, thus remanding the individual indefinitely to a Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services facility," end quote. It's that word indefinitely that really worries the Glyers. According to attorneys, if a defendant is found not guilty by reason of insanity, they would have annual hearings to assess updated mental health evaluations. If a new evaluation found a defendant was no longer insane, the court could release them.
Every year we'll have to deal with this. My original hope, based on the evidence, was that he would be convicted of first-degree murder, sentenced to life in prison. And in Virginia, there is no parole, so basically he would die in prison, and we would never have to worry about him again. But unless we get a trial, we will have to worry about him every year, because he could be released at any time.
Another Northern Virginia prosecutor who has tried several similar cases spoke with News 4 on Background about this case. He said he would be reluctant to use a plea agreement in this case, saying it's not consistent with public safety because there's a danger the defendant could get out and hurt someone else.
Is that what we want? Is that what I can tell other mothers who have lost their children on the hands of a criminal? That Virginia does no justice, that they will play you for years, and then they will tell you there is no trial.
A family devoting their lives to seeking justice for the killing of a man who devoted his life to helping thousands of people around the world. Reporting in Fairfax County, Drew Wilder, News 4.
A status hearing in the case is set for January 23rd. Now, even if the Commonwealth ultimately offers the defendant a plea, the judge could reject the offer. The Glyers are hoping that they get a trial, regardless of how they get there.